What's up, Sneeples? In this video, I want to talk about a game mechanic that's not in your face, but instead is something that you learn over time, something that you'll see more advanced players perform, and that is pitch stacking. I gotta say, whenever I learned how to pitch stack, my gameplay went to the next level. So I want to get out this video to explain what pitch stacking is, why we should be pitch stacking, how to pitch stack. Let's get into it and figure out what pitch stacking is. Pitch stacking is just what it sounds like. You're using your pitch zone to stack your deck, and basically what that means is when you are playing your hand, you are keeping track of what cards you're putting into your pitch zone and then expecting to see those cards in the second cycle of your deck. After you've seen all your deck's gone throughout, the next cards you'll start to see are the cards that you pitch. And therefore, if you pitch stack, you can know exactly how your deck is going to look like and what cards to expect to see. That is the whole premise of pitch stacking. Let's get into kind of the nitty-gritty of it, because it is a lot easier said than done. So when you're pitch stacking, instead of just looking at your hand and optimizing the best blocks and best attacks, you're instead thinking a little bit different. The reason is because you want to identify what cards you're pitch stacking, put them in the pitch stack zone, and that oftentimes mean that instead of maybe a 14 attack turn, you're only coming in for a 9 attack turn because you're pitching one of those attacks for later on in the game. That's what pitch stacking is. It's planning for the second cycle of the game so that you can close out the game. So let's get into why to pitch stack. Pitch stacking already sounds complicated. Why even learn it? Why even apply it? Well, there's a lot of heroes that looks to pitch stack in order to either win, because it's part of their gameplay, kind of like Oldham, maybe Tekla. Some of these more tankier heroes will have pitch stack as part of their gameplay to block out in the first half and then come in with the bigger cards in the second half. You could also be combating those type of heroes. If a hero is looking to fatigue you out, then pitch stacking can help have that push at the end of the game to prevent that from happening. Reinhardt does this, Max Nitro does this in Draft and Sealed against Tekla. This is a great way to beat those decks, is by pitch stacking. There's a lot of different heroes that looks to have a pitch stack to have a final push to push over the damage to win the game against fatigue style heroes. Finally, the last reason why learning pitch stack is a good thing is for combo decks. Whether you're playing Kano, where you are trying to pitch stack multiple Aether Wildfires together, especially if you're going against a more arcane barrier heavy opponent, like maybe a Bravo rocking 3 AV3, AV4, having this pitch stack to get those double Aether Wildfires together is necessary to push over damage. Icelander does this too. If it's not working as far as getting the damage through from attacks and little arcane damage here and there, having a pitch stack for an Ice Eternal big turn is a way that Icelander can use pitch stack to combo out and finish the game. Combo decks love to pitch stack. Aggressive decks need to pitch stack to beat fatigue decks or decks that look to go in the late game. And then fatigue decks themselves look to pitch stack in order to apply pressure in the late game so that they don't have to necessarily win by fatigue, but instead by coming in with big damage when it's least expected. That is the reason why pitch stacking is important and can help improve the game, because it adds a whole nother play style to your game, adds a whole nother play style that your opponent may or may not see coming, may or may not know what to do against. Pitch stacking does have that element of surprise, especially when it works. So let's get into how to pitch stack. This is going to be the most important and hardest part of the video, but with practice this gets much better. Learning how to pitch stack is a matter of practicing, that is for sure, and it's a matter of training your brain to think a little bit differently when playing the game, because as mentioned before, typically you look to play the most efficient attacks and most efficient blocks, but now you have to think a whole nother element, and that is of the late game. So let's talk about exactly what we're doing when we're pitch stacking. First thing we want to do is we want to know our entire deck. Now, ideally, this is your deck, so you know every card in there, you know what you're bringing in, you know what you need to have against your opponent. After that is knowing what cards are important to either being together for a pitch deck or against your opponent is very good. Let's say you're a Command and Conquer pummel deck. If you're looking to pitch stack for the late game, trying to get those Command Conquerors and pummels together can basically guarantee that that damage is going to come over. You're going to be taking that arsenal, you're going to be making the discard card, or you might just even win. That's the idea behind it. So I see in that Command and Conquer and the red pummel are cards to keep in mind to pitch stack. This could be your Aether Wildfires if you're Kano. This could be your Barraging Beatdowns if you're Reinhardt. This could just be anything you need to finish the game. So just having that knowledge of what cards are going to be better in the late game than maybe as you get them. Now we play the game. The first thing we're looking for is one of those cards. If we draw it early on, perfect, because the earlier we draw it, the sooner we'll see it in the pitch cycle. Once we see one of these cards that we like, what we need to do is note the first card that we pitched during the game so we can know when that second cycle has officially arrived. And then we need to note what card we pitch near the pitch stack card that we're looking for. So if I'm pitching, let's say an Ice Eternal, I'm playing Ice Eternal, I'm pitching an Ice Eternal, I want to know what cards are near that Ice Eternal so that I know when to expect it. This is especially important when you're playing a hero like Kano, so that you can know what to expect off the top of your deck. This is also something to note when you're playing someone like Max that could banish those cards. You don't want to banish your pitch zone, so you want to keep in mind where these cards are in relation to other cards. You don't have to know exact numbers, but you do have to have a range that is fairly close to where that pitch card is that you want to see later on. The more you practice it, the shorter that range becomes as you get better and better of knowing exactly where that card will be and when to expect it. This is the hard part of pitch stacking, is just getting used to it. Getting used to knowing where cards are within your deck. Keeping that game plan in mind and playing towards it, as in maybe blocking more so that you can get to that second cycle, or like mentioned before, not attacking with that card right now because maybe it's better to have it in the second cycle. With Max Nitro, a hydraulic press with overpower, especially it being red, is super good. Full bar, same deal. Red, overpower, great. This card we could play immediately, but if we can get it in the pitch cycle, so if we can pitch stack it to see it in the second cycle, it typically can just end the game, where maybe it wouldn't end the game as soon as I play it. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're looking to do. I know that was a lot, and it is a little bit, but practice it. I swear to you, it has improved my game a huge amount. It has let me play heroes in different ways. It has let me combat fatigued heroes and heroes that are looking to pitch that against me. It has allowed me to win in multiple ways with multiple different heroes. It's the best thing to do to improve your gameplay. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this helps you improve a little bit. Get to practicing, keep on fabbing. I'll catch you in the next one.